Hey guys, so I'm going to just be making a follow-up video to the video I made earlier today talking about the new Beerus coming to Legends. So we have confirmation that this character is releasing on the 23rd. So that is in 4 days from now. 3 days, 4 days, whatever. It's in the same vicinity. So they didn't really give much other information about this Beerus. Actually, the one thing I'd want to correct from my prior video is that on his green card, he actually locks in the enemy, which actually is a huge deal because of the fact that he also it looks to me like he draws a blue card from his green card. So what you can do is you can lock somebody in with the green card, draw your blue card, and then just kill them. And especially if you're going up against a revival character, right, you can basically guarantee nullify their revival by locking them in with the green card first. So it seems like a very, very strong unit. In terms of if this character is going to be an LF or not, I'm on the fence with this one because I think if this character was an LF, Toshi would have definitely said that he's an LF character. So I'm actually leaning towards him being not an LF. But we'll see. We know he's blue. I mean, assuming that the typing from the video earlier doesn't change. And we also know that he's going to be in the Universe Survival Saga because that's what the animations for this character are from. So I've seen a lot of people saying that they think the LF is going to be a God Goku, and that this Beerus will be just a 1% sparking on the step-up banner with God Goku. I don't know. The reason why I'm a bit skeptical, I mean, it seems like a very good, hypothesis or whatever, but the reason why I'm a bit skeptical about that is because, again, this Beerus is not the Beerus from Battle of Gods. He's from the Universe Survival Saga. So would they really pair up a Beerus that's not from that same arc with a God Goku? I don't know. I don't think that they would do that, but we will see. Definitely interested because this Beerus is, again, the first character that straight up nullifies revives, and we haven't seen that up until this point. But the other thing to mention about what they talked about is they did say, if we go, I believe it's the next image, no? Just shout out to DB Zoom, by the way, for providing the images here. We have Legends Limited Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan Vegeta getting a ZENKAI Awakening. This is the green Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. This guy's very old, and obviously, just based off of logical deduction, it's pretty apparent this guy was going to be the next LF ZENKAI character. And I am very, very scared of what this guy's about to be. There was one time, I think this was like a year ago, where somebody was asking, like, okay, which LF would you want to see get a ZENKAI next? And I was like, I don't care who gets one next, as long as it's not this guy. Because this guy with I believe he gets double card draw speed on his main ability, and his ultimate locks you in. Like, this guy can be very toxic to play against in terms of what he's doing with his kit. So let's go take a quick look at what he does here. So we'll go through his kit here, and I'll sort of, I guess, explain why I really didn't want to see this guy get a ZENKAI. But at this point in the game, I am fine with this guy getting a ZENKAI. With Ultra Gogeta's running around, with Goku and Vegeta's running around, this guy actually is a pretty good option for a ZENKAI character. He's a very good counter to, I assume he'll be a very good counter to Ultra Gogeta when he drops. And then in addition to that, the Vegeta side of Goku and Vegeta, much like God of Destruction Topo, if you can catch that Vegeta in his ultimate that locks you in, you can just straight up nuke that Vegeta and kill him and snipe him in one hit. So could be a decent option against that unit as well. In terms of his stats, again, this guy's very old. This guy released alongside Red Rose, who honestly I wouldn't really mind seeing him get a ZENKAI either. But this guy, his stats actually are not too bad. Basically 160,000 to both defenses, which is not bad. Strike attack is 240, blast is 231. Obviously more of a melee-based unit. He is designated as melee type. Let me pull up for reference one other who is like a ZENKAI. Let me just pull up the ZENKAI list here. ZENKAI. Okay, so we have this guy has a ZENKAI, Gohan has a ZENKAI. Do we have any? No. Okay, let's just pull up this guy. So we'll use this guy as a reference. Actually, no, we'll pull up Super Vegeta as a reference because they're both melee types. It makes more sense. So Super Vegeta, let's just pull him up as a reference in terms of stats. So I expect to see similar stat distributions between Super Vegeta and what this Vegeta will have in terms of the spread here. So Vegeta, I imagine he'll have stats similar to this. So, 180, mid 180s to both defenses, and then high 280s to his main offense. That's probably what we're looking at for this guy. Now, here's the reason why I was kind of afraid of this guy getting a Zenkai. And to be honest with you guys, I'm still a little bit nervous about this. Because they can... Dude, if they make this guy too good, he will be so toxic and annoying to fight against. His main ability draws the ultimate, gives himself 50 key back, and then he gets 2 card draw speed. But the reason why this is so toxic is, well, number one, this can be very, very annoying to fight against, but I think it's much less of an issue now than it was when he first came out, because there's so many other characters that in the game that on cover change disrupt combos, like either with special cover changes, or just they reduce your key, or they destroy cards. So there's many more tools right now to deal with these like hyper offensive units that draw tons of cards. But the reason why I'm very scared is because of this ultimate, the God Burst Rush. Deals massive impact damage, 30% ultimate damage inflicted for 3 timer counts upon activation, and inflicts all enemies with no switching for 3 timer counts upon activation. That is very, very annoying. I mean, you get caught by this guy. There's even a scenario where you're switched in with a different character, you use a blast card, you switch into this guy, pop your main, and the enemy has no chance of even reacting to that. So this guy could just be a sniper unit utilized with the ultimate here. First unique ability is 20% damage inflicted against Tag God Key, which, you know what's funny about this is if that Beerus does end up remaining as a blue type character, this Vegeta is going to get a Zenkai and just come out and just incinerate that Beerus. He does extra damage to God Key, he locks you in on ultimate, like that Beerus is going to get destroyed by this Vegeta, which is very strange because this game has had a history of creating characters and releasing new characters, and then either the next character they release or the next Zenkai that comes out immediately following that first character is a color counter to that character, which I think is a terrible idea. But that's what they do most of the time, so I don't know. The following effects occur every time this character uses a Striker Blast Arts card, so he actually does provide some kind of support to the team. And actually, this is very similar. Let me pull up the other unit. If you guys run Mono Purple, you guys know exactly how this mechanic works because everyone uses this Vegeta. Very similar mechanic to this Vegeta, right? This Vegeta, let me see. Yeah, 20% of damage inflicted by allies for 15 counts every time this character uses a Striker Blast card. So we go over, let me get rid of this guy. This guy gives 10% damage inflicted to God Key or Vegeta Clan for 10 counts every time he uses a Striker Blast card. So it's the same sort of concept. Obviously, this guy's effect is way better. The purple Vegeta is way better because he's newer than this green one. But I imagine with this guy's Zenkai, he will buff up the team even more. But that's not all he does, because he also gives himself an extra 15% damage inflicted. And then this is actually pretty nutty if you have ever used this character before. Back in the heyday of when this guy came out, I actually do think that when this guy released, he was the best unit in the game. Prior to this guy, I would have argued that it was the purple Super Vegeta, but after this guy released, this guy was just too good not to be the best, I don't think. This main ability with double card draw speed, nobody else had this. Like, this was pretty much an exclusive mechanic for this Vegeta. But with the double card draw speed, you could essentially lower the cost of your cards so low. You could combo forever with this guy, on top of the fact that you're gaining 50 key with the main ability here. So he's basically giving himself 25% damage inflicted every time he uses a Striker Blast card, and reducing the cost. Like, this ramps up very fast. So much so that he doesn't even need, when this guy came out, he didn't even need a start of battle like damage buff. He just got all the damage that he needed from this alone. He was already ridiculously good. Second unique ability is applies the following effects to self every time another battle member is hit with an enemy strike arts or blast arts attack. So this was, I think, the first iteration of a mechanic that activated when a character wasn't even switched in. So even though this Vegeta is not even switched in, he's still going to be getting these buffs, right? So he shortens his own sub count by 1 every time an ally is hit by a Striker Blast Arts attack, and then he has a 40% reduced damage sustained on cover change. I think this back in the day was so powerful because back in the day you couldn't cover change multiple times in one combo. So back when this guy released and you really needed to get out of the way of a combo, but you couldn't switch into another character, the shortened sub count every time you got hit was like almost invaluable. Right now, nowadays, I don't think this is going to be as impactful as this was back then. So that is another reason why I'm not as nervous about this guy getting a Zenkai Awakening. And then he also has minus 30% to enemy sustained damage cut effects just as a baseline, which is actually, I think, much better than people realize. So that is good. In terms of what he actually needs, this is definitely not going to cut it. At this point in time, you know, his power creep has just made this guy pretty much unusable right now. But with his ZENKAI Awakening, he needs a start of turn damage buff, a beginning of the battle damage buff, a beginning of the battle sustained damage cut. I would say 30% probably is sufficient if he's going to retain this 40% on cover change. So I give him like 70% damage, maybe not 70%. I give him like 50% damage at the start of the battle, 30% reduced damage received. Honestly, this is good enough. This is probably good enough. This is still going to be really good. And then in terms of like the new unique abilities he's going to grab, actually you'd probably add a heal to the main ability as well. If you added a heal to this, it's probably good enough. Maybe make this a little bit longer. Maybe make this 15 counts. So he draws the ultimate, restores ki by 50, HP by, I don't know, 25%. And then double card draw speed for 15 counts. I think that's a good enough main ability. And then for the new unique abilities, I would maybe give him some kind of extra support. Maybe when he switches out, he gives ki back to his team. And I don't know. He's already looking pretty solid. His green card or his blue card, I would probably just make this massive damage. And then this is probably good enough. Make this just all you gotta do is make this massive damage. Green card, 50% healing, 20% of next special move or ultimate damage inflicted. Gotta add a ki on this. I mean, again, I hate green cards nowadays that don't have ki on them. It just feels like a waste, and it's not as efficient. So I'd give this 30 ki, and then it's probably good enough. 30 ki, 15% health, and then 20% of next special move or ultimate damage inflicted. And I think that's stackable. It doesn't say cannot be stacked. I'm actually not sure if that's stackable or not, but that's probably stackable. And then he buffs God Ki and Vegeta Clan strike attack and defense. In terms of what he'll buff with the ZENKAI ability, we pull up both of these for a second and see which one would benefit more. So Vegeta Clan, I mean, there's really no good green units here. There's actually like none. So I'm going to go ahead and say God Ki would benefit more from this. God of Destruction Topo getting an extra green buff, ZENKAI buff would be really nice. Oh my god, some awesome Goku Black getting a ZENKAI buff, that would be annoying. Beerus getting another ZENKAI buff. Green Goku Black potentially getting another one too could be interesting. So much more valuable ZENKAI buff for God Ki, but I wouldn't be surprised if they went down the Vegeta Clan route either. But that's pretty much it for this one. The one other thing I do want to point out before we wrap up this video is that, remember, we are going to be getting a video and stuff on the 20th. Our next broadcast will feature tons of new info on upcoming updates, including a brand new mode and some quality of life improvements. And of course, we have some new character announcements as well, plural, although I don't think that actually means anything. What I expect to see here, and this is something that I was theorizing as well, is we know that we just took a look at this Beerus, right? This Beerus was teased during Battle Hour. Them specifically not mentioning that this Beerus was an LF, again, this guy could be a 1% sparking on a banner of the LF, and so maybe they're saving the LF announcement for video and stuff on Tuesday. So we'll see if they end up doing that, but this video and stuff will go live on the 22nd at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. I will be covering this, obviously, so let me know down below what you guys think about all the things that were announced in Battle Hour, the Beerus new sparking releasing, and this green Vegeta getting a ZENKAI Awakening. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next one.